Yeah, we're live. Can you see me? Welcome to class. I hope I can see the comments. Welcome, family. I see two persons live right now. Yeah. Can you see me? Can you hear me? If you can, please let me know you can hear me. Okay. Okay, hold on, please. I'm trying to set up. Okay. Can you see me, please? Let me know. Type in the comment. I can't see the comment. I think there's a challenge here. Hold on, please. Okay. I'm just going to go on, hoping that I get to see the comment from my laptop. Let me check it out from here. Welcome to class. I see 4 persons live already. I see 4 persons live. Hold on. Favor, I see you. Welcome. So I'm going to try and see how I can take a look at the comment from here, because this has to be conversational, you know. How was your day and how has been the challenge? We have rounded off, guys. It was just like yesterday when we started. Yes, we thank God for the work so far that we've been able to put in, the commitment, the sleepless night. Here we are right now. Okay. Here we are. Live video. Where are others? Please invite others to join us as well. Let's see them. Invite others to join us. Favor, welcome to class. I see 5 person live already. Please hold on. Let me see if I can set this so I can see. Um, okay, let me see if I can do horizontal, because I don't understand why I can't read comments. Okay, I think I can read comment now. It's better this way to be on the safe side. Okay, I see Aroma Patrick. Aroma Patrick, you're welcome to class. How you doing? Adekule, you are welcome. If you can see me, let me know. I can see you, Coach Faith. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. We're talking about the invisible war of growth today. And it's been an incredible conversation so far. One thing I always say again and again is the fact that it is okay to be inspired. It is okay to interact with information, okay? But one thing that I have seen that can truly bring transformation, that can set us up on fire to be able to move from where we are to the next level, is how well we are able to really do the needful, as it has to do with transitioning from the place of just interacting with inspiration to ensuring that you are able to do the work. Somebody should type, do the work, do the work. There's this book by Stephen Pressfield. The title of the book is Do the Work. Truly profound and beautiful book. Okay, so the more you do the work, like we have shared again and again, the more you are really able to experience growth and transformation on a deeper level. That's it. If you don't do the work, you can't experience transformation. If you don't do the work, family, you can't experience transformation. All right. So all that we've been saying, they look beautiful, they look sweet and delicious, but trust me, if you do not step into the zone to do the work, you're not going to be able to get the best. Today we spoke so much about expression, expressing your vision. Let me even ask you, if you've gone through the program from day one to today, tell me in the comments which one really stood out for you. Let me hear from you. Which of the days stood out for you? Like which one really spoke to your heart? Although all of them are interwoven. First day we spoke about growth gap analysis. Second day was really about your growth cycle blueprint. And then the third day was about personal mastery. The fourth day was about vision. And then the fifth day, which is today, we spoke about execution, which has to do with how well you're able to express your vision, the pathways through which you're able to express your vision. Yes. Which one really stood out for you? Let me see, let me see, let me see. Oh, it seems some people are lagging. Like Adekule is just replying this that I can see you, coach. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. I see 5 persons live, so make sure that you're active so that I can hear from you as well. Someone says day three, personal mastery. I know that day three were also calm in the room. It was almost as though we were experiencing silent nights. Yeah, that's the essence of building personal mastery, which is truly, truly profound. Okay, which is truly, truly profound. Okay, let's continue. So the invisible wall of growth is a place that we all don't want to be, right? Is that environment, that experience that has really kept a lot of us stuck for a long time. Really, we want to move past the place of inertia, but there is this invisible wall. There's a book I would recommend for you guys. I'd like you to go read this book. You can type it in the comment section. The title of the book is The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. That's the title of the book. Such a profound and powerful book that really speaks to the heart of sabotages, because there are a lot of things bedeviling us, keeping us stuck, keeping us in one cocoon for a long time, that we're not able to move past the place of inertia. Okay, so the invisible wall of growth is really that wall that really most often you cannot even break past them with just information and interactions with inspirations. I'm telling you the truth. It's always so difficult to break through that wall. Okay, it's always so difficult to break through that wall most often because sometimes we are even our own walls. Like I spoke about self-imposed limitation. Self-imposed limitation. Someone said I should repeat the book. Cecilia says I should repeat the book. The title of the book is The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. Somebody should type it in the comment. The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. Okay. Michael Conqueror says they first stood that for me. Interesting. Ujaku says the 3 and the 5. The 3 and the 5. Personal mastery and vision expression, right? Somebody said, can we have the link to the Telegram group? I'm also interacting on WhatsApp. Okay. Where is the venue? Favor, I think you should go attend to them on the WhatsApp group. Okay. So the Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. That's the title of the book. So this invisible wall, most often they're not bricks, all right? They're not laid with blocks. They are patterns, all right? They are patterns. They are the things you've gone through. They are the systems you've interacted with. They are the places you've somebody said network. I hope you guys can hear me here. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Okay, I was trying to check. Maybe I shouldn't be distracted. Um, Let me just allow that. If you can hear me, let me know you can still hear me. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Yes, that's the book. Let me just highlight it on the screen. Yes, that's the book. The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. Have you gotten that? Have you gotten that? Okay, beautiful. So these mountains can be in the form of your thoughts, the fears that you have, internal resistance, sabotages, limiting beliefs that have kept us for a long time. It is the gap between clarity and the courage to really do the work. Okay, I like to type that in the comment. The gap between clarity and the courage to do the work, the courage to step out. Some of you have been in a position where you see certain people doing some things and you are like, oh my God, I can even do it better than this person. But the question is usually, why are you not doing it? If you can do it better than that person, why are you not doing it? Why are you not stepping out? Why are you not stepping out if you can actually, you are convinced in your heart of hearts that you can do it better? Why are you not stepping out? Because you have not been able to bridge the gap between clarity and courage. You have not been able to bridge the gap between clarity and courage. Okay? And that's why the subtitle of our program today is, let me go back to the flyer. The subtitle is um, the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. All right, the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. It doesn't matter, whatever, in whatever area of life, it doesn't really matter. What matters at the end of the day is that there is a life that you ought to be living. Okay, there is a life that you ought to be living, and pushing past the place of inertia. All right, pushing past the place of inertia is going to require a lot of courage. It's going to require a lot of wisdom, willpower, all right, for you to be able to do the needful and so many other things that we have spoken about. I hear a lot of people that would often say, oh, Coach Faith, I have a plan. I know my gaps right now. How many of you know your gaps right now? Type gaps if you do know. Type gaps if you do know your gaps right now. Oh, Coach Faith, I know my gaps right now, right? My gap is this, my gap is that, my mountain is that. But at the end of the day, have you been able to do the work? I know my gaps. I have a plans, and I have tools at my disposal. I have tools at my disposal. Okay, it is. I've often heard it again and again from Tony Robbins. Okay, he would often say that what we do have, we all do have resources, but what we do not have is resourcefulness. And that resourcefulness is your ability, your tendency to be able to do the work, your tendency to be able to do the work, your tendency to be able to step out, irrespective of the challenges, irrespective of the gaps. All right. So most of the times, the externalities that we are actually looking at as the problems that we are facing are not really the main thing. They are not really the main issues. So you look at some of those things that are bedeviling, that causing you not to do the things that you ought to do. Maybe you procrastinate, maybe you are distracted, whatever it is. At the end of the day, you look at your life and you keep planning, you keep learning, you keep doing one or two things, you keep hoping that life will get better, that you will soon be able to step into that arena, that you soon be able to do the work, but you never will do the work, right? You never will do the work. So that barrier that really have kept you for a long time is what we are here to confront right now, right? We're here to say enough is enough. We are tired, and we're not gonna take the back seat anymore. All right, we are ready to step into that horizon. We are ready to do the needful. We're ready to do the work. We're ready to step into a realm of more and authenticity and the kind of person that we truly are. We are ready to do it. We're ready to do it. I'm not taking the back seat anymore. Yes. I want you to type in the comments, I am ready, Coach Faith. I am ready, Coach Faith. I am ready to do the needful in my life. So let's look at the life of the children of Israel. Exodus chapter 14. Exodus chapter 14, the life of the children of Israel. How many of you know about the story? If you know about the story, type story in the room. Type story, 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 story multiple times. Set the room on fire, set the room ablaze. Type story, 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 story. I want to hear that from you. I want to read it from you. I want to read it from you. So the life of the children of Israel, according to Exodus chapter 4, the word of God says that these guys, after they had prayed, now you see, they have prayed about the transformation that they were expecting, just like you've been praying for a long time for someone like Coach Faith to walk into your life. And today, Coach Faith is here and you are still playing. Coach Faith is here right now now, and this is the person you'll be praying to meet all your life, to just help you zone in and do the needful. Okay, to just help you zone in and become that person that you have been created to be. And here I am right now. The children of Israel prayed for several years. They cried to God. They were in disarray. They were in punishment. They were in a lot, all right, that were really keeping them stored. And for such a long time, after their prayers were being heard by God, God sent a man called Moses. Now, you know the old story. I really don't want to keep going back and forth around that storyline. But here is what I want you to understand. These guys had already left the land of Egypt. They were not before the Red Sea. Looking back behind, okay, looking behind them, they saw Pharaoh coming. Pharaoh and his troop coming after them. And they were like, oh my God, we're going to die. Moses, why did you do this to us? You see, people with sabotages, that is usually their problem. Okay? Why did you do this to us? Okay? Why did you do this to us? Is it that there are no graves in Egypt? That we should be buried? Okay? Yes, Cecilia. This is the reason we are here today. Cecilia says, actually, I'm stuck there. I know what I should do, but for me to step out, I have this huge gap. Yes, the gap between I know what to do and I'm not doing it, right? That's why we're here. So the children of Israel, according to biblical story, they were before this Red Sea. Okay, there was no way they were going to cross, and behind them was Pharaoh and his army, Pharaoh and his troop coming after them to take up after their life. Okay, to take over their life, to kill them, or possibly, end their journey, or even tell them to go back, pack them back to where they're coming from, take them back to where they're coming from. Okay, as you all know the story. At the end of the day, the next thing they did was to start complaining, right? They started complaining, blaming Moses. Isn't that what we do most times? That we have something that we ought to be doing. We know that we should be moving, but still we are not moving. We're not doing the work. We keep blaming our circumstances. Keep blaming our parents, blaming those that are attached to us, connected to us. We keep blaming our past. And as they kept on doing that, here's the word of God for us. According to Exodus 14, Moses told them, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. So Moses' instruction was for them to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Why are you crying out to me? And then God told Moses, why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to move forward. Somebody should type, move forward. Tell the people to move forward. Stop crying out to me. That is not a solution. Standing still is not a solution. It is time to what? Move forward. Read my lip. Move forward. You see, so there might be sabotages, there might be roadblocks, there might be a lot of challenges standing before you, behind you, by your side, nowhere to go, right? But you see God speaking to the children of Israel. He said, move forward. Take that first step. So to them, when they left the land of Egypt, they already knew they were free. They knew that God had promised them. They knew that God had promised them. But the truth is, they were not ready to confront their comfort zone. They were not ready to participate on that journey. Reading through that story many a times, I'm often dazed to say, Moses, how did you manage? How did you manage to keep up with these people? Because they were not willing and ready to cooperate. Not because they never wanted to, because they had prayed to have that experience. They had prayed 1,000 times. All right? Even the babies in the wombs of the mothers had already prayed for that level of freedom. But when it came knocking on the door, all right, they were not willing to make the move. Why? Because there were limitations, there were fears, there were invisible walls that they couldn't confront on their own. Right? So you see that many times you can pray, you may want to pray for a particular situation. All right, you may have wished for it, you may have desired it, but if that invisible wall is there, it will be so difficult for you to move forward. It will be so difficult for you to do the needful. So no matter how well you know how to cry in prayers, like you can lie down on the floor and you're rolling, you're crying, you're tapping your feet 100 times, it doesn't really matter. So in this class today, I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 layers of invisible wall. I like to write it down. The 4 layers of the invisible wall. The 4 layers of the invisible wall. We're going to look at these 4 layers and then we'll wrap up for today. The 4 layers of the invisible wall. All right? In the next 30 minutes, we should be done with this session because I don't want it to be too lengthy. Today was just all about activation to set you up on fire, to ignite you, to rekindle you, and all that you can think about, right? So there are 4 layers to this, and we're going to break down those layers. So when we talk about the layers, you should begin to look at yourself and ask yourself, where do I really fit? Where do I really fit? And where do I need help? Where do I need transformation? Okay? Where do I need transformation? If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my outline. I should have a note. A great teacher should have a note, right? We have 4 layers. Layer 1, the mental wall. I like you to type that in the room. The mental wall. Type it down. The mental wall. This layer is built from your thoughts, your beliefs, your patterns, your personal narratives. Okay? There is this book that I have here. Oh, there's this great book I would have loved to recommend by Tibet Morris. All right, the book speaks to the heart of changing your personal narratives. Okay, changing the story that is ongoing in your head, changing the story that is ongoing right here, changing that story. So the mental wall can be connected to your thought patterns, the way you think. Remember, when we're talking about the anatomies of vision, one of such that we made mention of was perspective. We said the first one is purpose, the second is perspective, the third is pathways, and the fourth is power. So this mental wall, they are built around your belief system, your patterns, your personal narrative. Okay? A lot of times we often tell ourselves, I have tried that before, but it never works. People like me, okay? People like me don't make it. It is too late for me right now. I'm already over 50. I'm already over 40, over 60, over 30. It is too late for me to try. All right? This is a wall, a mental barrier that has caused you to be stalled for a long time. If you have tried before and it never works, it never worked for you, it is time for you to try again. If you've worked with a coach before and it never worked for you, it is time for you to work with Coach Faith. It is time for you to work with Coach Faith. You see what I'm calling my name? Coach Faith. All right? If you've tried it before, it is time for you to try it again. People like me don't make it. Where I am from, the things I have experienced, it is always difficult for us to make it. Maybe you see the way I'm talking with so much energy and enthusiasm and focus and charisma, and you're like, I like to speak like this woman. I was never born this way. As a matter of fact, I always share my story of how I grew up in a local environment that up until the age of 16, I never saw a TV, right? If an English person is talking at that time, I can barely understand, right? But here I am today, speaking to your heart from different parts of the world. I don't know where you are from. Maybe you should just tell me in the room. Where are you from? Where did you join this conversation from? Okay, so people like me don't make it. It is too late for me right now. I want you to know that it is not too late for you. So that is a mental wall. A lot of people in this arena have several issues, several challenges. One of it is what we call learned helplessness. Type that in the comments. Learned helplessness. Learned helplessness. This is when you begin to accept powerlessness after a repeated failure. So you have tried it before, it did not work, but the next time you're like, I cannot do it again because I've tried it several times. So you now begin to disempower yourself because you believe you have done it before and it never worked for you. I've read several books, nothing seems to be happening in my life. I've tried out that business, nothing seems to be happening in my life. All right? That is learned helplessness, where you now become powerless. You lose your power because in life, we're supposed to be empowered on a daily basis through the stories we tell ourselves, through our belief systems, through the way we rewire our thinking mentality. The Word of God says in Romans chapter 12, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God. All right, that you present your body. Verse 2 of that says, you should continue to renew your mind so that you don't become a conformer. Do you see that? I'm paraphrasing. You should begin to rewire your mind so you don't become what? A conformer. See, people who do not know how to rewire their mental capacity, they always conform. They always conform. There is this book. Have you read this book? Originals by Adam Grant. Originals. Okay? It's a book on innovation and creativity. On innovation and creativity, right? So people who do not know how to rewire their thinking capacity, they can never come up with newness. They can never come up with novelties. This morning, I spoke about the life of Steve Harvey. How that Steve Harvey, for several years, I've studied him. For the past 12 years, I've been following him. All right. I've discovered that this man is just a comedian like any other person. All right. He's just a comedian, loves to tell jokes. He's a vocal transformer. How many of you remember the umbrellas of vision expression, right? He's a vocal transformer. He loves to give out value. He loves to make people laugh through that means. And I have seen again and again since I got to know him in 2013, after reading his book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, that man has never ceased to amaze and to daze me. Because in every season, he's always coming up with novelty. He's always coming up with newness. The reason you are a conformer is as a result of the fact that you as an individual, you have not been able to renew or rewire your system. So at that layer, remember we're speaking about the 4 layers of these invisible walls. I said one is what? The meta layer, the meta wall. And I said these are some of the key issues that is actually within this realm. The learned helplessness. You accept that you are powerless, that you have had repeated failures, that you can no longer make it. That it's not going to be easy for you to make it. The next one is called imposter syndrome. All right? Imposter syndrome. Type imposter syndrome in the room. Imposter syndrome. So this is where you believe that you are not enough, even when all evidence says otherwise. My goodness. You keep telling yourself, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I do not have capacity. I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I can do that. Imposter syndrome. It happens a lot to the best intention. And for those of you that are planning or that are hoping and praying and wishing to join my coaching program, to be able to take your vision to the next level, that as you build capacity and you go in depth into your personal transformational journey, that you are willing and more than willing to do the needful. Imposter syndrome is not going to be your thing anymore. Though there are seasons you will still experience them, maybe when you're starting off a new project, you're doing a new work, you would also continue to experience imposter syndrome. But here is the caveat. Because you already understand that there is such a thing as the mental war, you already know that, oh, once this thing is happening like this, when I'm not feeling enough, I'm not feeling I'm good enough, oh, I want to begin to speak to young people, I want to begin to mentor people, but I believe that I do not have the capacity, I do not have the knowledge, even when all evidences are pushing and projecting that you have the capacity, you have done this before, you can do it again. This is imposter syndrome. And the third one I want to touch on is what I call scarcity mindset. Thinking resources or opportunities are always running out. The scarcity mindset. As a businessman, you always think that business would sometime no longer work for you, okay? No longer work for you. Whatever it is time for you to let go of the scarcity mentality. If your mind isn't free, your movement won't last. Type that in the comments. If your mind is not free, your movement will not last. It won't. Are you learning something? Are you set on fire already? If your mind isn't free, your movement won't last. So you need that mental freedom. In the anatomy of vision, we talk about the concept of what? Perspective. You need to go deeper And that's what we're saying, that one of the invisible war is a mental war. Let's move on to number 2 quickly. Number 2 is the emotional war. The emotional war. Okay? The emotional war. This is the war of emotional resistance. All right? How many of you know that the emotional part of our humanness has a lot of role to play when it comes to how well we are able to do the work? Some of the hesitations you are having are just emotional. I'm telling you, I've been there. Okay, some of the emotional challenges you are having. You want to write a book, but you see yourself not writing it. Okay, you want to write a book, but you see yourself not writing it. Yes, for Nelly, if your mind is not free, your movement will not last. Thank you for sharing that on the comment section. Thank you for sharing that. If your mind is not free, your movement won't last. So this is the war of emotional resistance, past pain, shame, regret, fear, unhealed wound, brokenness, failed relationship. They are all emotional. Okay? If I try again, I will fail. The last time I trusted this, I got hurt. Okay? So some of the key patterns of emotional war include fear of failure, all right, shame from your past mistakes, rejection, fear of being seen or exposed. How many of you are here? The fear of being seen or exposed. I could remember the first time in 2020, I did a video. I did a video on the internet. I did a video where I was trying to promote a program. Okay, I can still remember that program. It was it was all about navigate. Yes, navigate. The title of the program was Navigate. It was really a program around mindset, personal transformation, and all of that. Navigate. That was 2020. So I was to do this short video that I would use to advertise it, talk about it on the platform on Facebook. As at then, it was a problem. I couldn't move past. I kept on trying and trying. Eventually, I succeeded. Somebody should type succeeded. I succeeded. But a lot of people never move past that fear. They even procrastinate themselves away many a times. Yes, they procrastinate. They say, I will do it tomorrow, and they never do it. So the fear of being seen has kept a lot of people stored. It's an emotional war. It's a what? An emotional war. The fear of being seen. Are you learning something? I think some people are having challenges with their internet. It's not good. So sorry about that. All right. The fear of being seen or exposed. It's a barrier. Let's look at the next word, the identity war. So in the place of identity, I've spoken so much about identity, especially when I was talking about the growth gap analysis, the ecosystem pathways, and then we spoke about the personal mastery session. We said a lot around personal mastery, and there I really emphasized so much around identity. So another war is the identity war. Who you think you are, your uniqueness, your brilliance. How do you see yourself? Your self-image also has a lot of role to play as to how well you are able to project into the future. So you can have the right mindset, you can heal emotionally, but if your identity hasn't shifted, come on, type shifted. If your identity hasn't shifted, growth will always feel like you are wearing borrowed clothes. Those are my thoughts. Okay, you can have the right mindset, you can have the right everything. Emotionally, you say, Coach Faith, I'm cool here. But what about your identity? Have you shifted? Have you shifted? If your identity hasn't shifted, look at the life of the children of Israel. They left Egypt, they prayed, and God attended to their prayers. All right, mentally they had issues, possibly emotionally, but when they left Egypt, their identity never shifted. And that was why they kept on saying, why don't we go back to Egypt? Are there no graves in Egypt to bury us? That you had to bring us to this place, to this desert, to come and die. There we were eating cucumbers, we're eating garbages, we're eating onions. This day and age, I usually would wonder how were people able to eat onions, like eat it as food. I know we use it as some kind of ingredients to prepare our food right now to spice it up, but I cannot just imagine how someone would, would eat onions as their meal. How many of us can do that, or how many of you do that here? Like you just wake up in the morning and say, "This morning, come on now, it's onions and garbage I want to eat. Just give me some onions or some garlic and ginger." I'm wondering, those guys were wonderful. Our forefathers, I respect them. So their identity never shifted. Favor says I can do it, maybe because you are a nutritionist. So your identity have shifted, right? So the identity hasn't shifted. It hasn't shifted. So growth will always feel like you're wearing a borrowed cloth when your identity is still the same. So a huge part of the transformation you are looking forward to is for you to be able to step into this identity shift. People have what we call identity exhaustion, especially for my fellow visionaries, for those that are really into the impact space. They want to make impact in their world. They want to do amazing things. They want to step out in their world, right? Most often they have what we call identity exhaustion. Even when there's supposed to be a shift, they find it very difficult to shift because they have not shifted themselves. All right? Because they have not shifted themselves. So they find it very difficult to shift. So identity struggle can be represented this way. I'm not the type of person that leads. That's for serious disciplined people, not me. I'm still that confused, inconsistent version of me. Just give me some moments, give me some time to fix it, but they never fix it. They never fix it. So many times they're so attached to their past version, all right? They have identity confusion, they have false humility, and a whole lot. So you won't walk into what you haven't first become inside. Remember personal mastery and the concept of becoming. And the concept of what? Becoming. You won't work into what you haven't first become on the inside. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you get that? You won't walk into it. It will not happen. All right? Into what you haven't. Just imagine the children of Israel. At the end of the day, guys, they all almost died in the wilderness. Just 2 tribes were saved. Come on now. So emotional. And what saved them? What saved them? What saved them? Caleb and Joshua. What saved those guys? What saved them? Because they had a shift. Remember when they were sent to Jericho, all right, to go check out the city? All of them went there, but only these 2 persons shifted in their mindset and they came with a better report. Or others were like, oh, they are like giants, well, just like grasshoppers in their midst. And those 2 guys were like, we can take over them. We can take over them. Do you see that? So when you do not have an identity shift, you won't walk into what you haven't first become. No matter how well you pray your way into it, you get there and you mess up. You get into that situation and you mess things up. And then you now begin to ask yourself, I thought I had prayed for this experience. But because of the fact that you still have the invisible wall of identity distortion, then it becomes a problem for you to be able to get what you are looking out for. Do you see that, family? And that's why you need to come for Coach Faith's coaching. We have opened up for the PDMP coaching program. Yay! We have finally opened up, guys. If you would like to continue this coaching with us, type coaching. Like you're like, Coach Faith, I really don't just want to stop here. I want to continue this journey with you. We have a 6 weeks coaching program. PDMP, this is going to be the 4th cohort. Personal Development Mastery Program. Right? Personal Development Mastery Program, where you are going to go deeper with me for 6 weeks. Some of you may want to work with me one-on-one. Some of you may want to work with me on a group level. Some of you will just want to get a course on personal development mastery, have access to vision expression pathway, all right, workbook, have access to the growth execution framework course, plus a workbook, and be able to implement. Beautiful. You want to get the course, you want to get into the coaching, welcome on board. You want my one-on-one coaching, welcome on board. We have officially now opened the coaching program for the next few days, all right? Because we're starting off the class officially 3rd of May, all right? 3rd of May. Let me see those that have that want coaching with me. If you are interested in taking this coaching, the next level type coaching, I still have one invisible word to talk about. We're talking about mental, emotional identity. We still have one, which is one of the most important. You've got to stay to the end of this. All right. B says you won't walk into what you haven't first become. You won't walk into what you haven't first become. Do you see that? That's it. That's it. We won't walk into what you haven't first become. Okay, let me take water, then we'll continue. Are you still here? Yes, that's it. Thank you, Aaron. Aaron is ready to take the coaching on. Favor is already there with us. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're going to talk about the last invisible wall of growth. And it is called the structural wall. The structural wall. This is so big, my friend. It is so big because these are the systems that sabotage us in a lot of ways. I have often said it again and again. Whenever you come into my space, one thing I often say is this, that the systems you have interacted with before now is the reason you are here today. The systems you have interacted with before now is the reason you are here today. Right? Those systems, is possible they've been able to fashion you in a beautiful way. I celebrate you for that. But some systems have actually come to stall you, to keep you in one position for a long time. So it is called the structural wall. It is called the word structural wall. So even with all the renewed minds, the healed emotion, the aligned identity, if your environment and systems are broken, they will pull you back into circles of stagnation. Okay, Fun Nelly is interested in the coaching. Welcome, Fun Nelly. Where are you joining us from? I can't wait to have you guys in the room. All right. So Michael says WIFFM. What does that even mean, Michael? Right? Adekule is ready to continue coaching with us. So after this class, go ahead and go through the sales page, read all about the program, send me a DM and tell me that you're ready to sign up, and we'll do this together. Okay, so the systems you have interacted with has a huge role to play as to how far you're also going to experience transformation in your work. Okay, a lot of times these structures include, I like to type them in the room as I'm saying them out. These structures include lack of accountability. Type it in the room. Lack of accountability, disorganized routines, toxic environments, unclear priorities, disconnected relationship. I'm going to run through again. There's several of them. One of it is a lack of accountability. If you have ever lacked accountability in your life, like you tell yourself, Coach Faith, I want to read this book to the end. You have recommended several books as a reading coach. I want to read Originals too. Okay, in our reading club, we're currently reading what's the name of the book? Is it Manifesto? Favor, remind me the book we're reading in the system. Okay, Cecilia is interested in the coaching. Good and fine. Dekula is interested. Good and fine. Let's do this. Let's get started. All right. Let's get started. I know the book is written by Brendan Burchard. Something Manifesto. Please remind us. Okay, that notwithstanding, our focus is really about structure. So a lot of times, okay, the motivation manifesto, thank you. A lot of times, this lack of accountability has really kept a lot of us in the same spot for a long time. You've told yourself, I want to read 10 books this year, and you have not even read one. Okay, you have not read one at all. In the PDMP program, I go deep into immersion. Many of you remember when we were talking about stepping into the learning zone. Oh my God, you've never seen that before. If you saw something these 5 days, the 6 weeks will daze you and we throw you off balance and be like, oh my God, Coach Faye, where have I been? This is so much light, right? This is so much light. You're going to understand how to step into the learning zone fully and be able to orchestrate your learning so that in 90 days or less, you become an expert in an area. Okay? You become an expert in that area. You'll be looking forward to growth. You'll be looking forward to launching out. You'll be looking forward to one or two things that you really want to do. Okay? That is it. Michael says, what's in it for me? Go through the safe page. You're going to know what's in it for you. And some of the things I'm saying now is in it for you as well. So this lack of accountability is one of the reasons you have not been able to move past the place of inertia. You have not been able to move past the place of what? Inertia. You've not been able to do the needful. You've not been able to do the work. You've not been able to zone in on a deeper level. Another one is disorganized routines. Disorganized routines. I have a course, the reading code. The reading code. In that course, I spoke so much about how to navigate your personal mastery journey, how to work on your routine based on your becoming, based on your identity, and a whole lot. So the truth is, your routine is not really shouldn't be based on time management, how I'm able to let go of procrastinations. Those things are good, but they are the surface. But when we now begin to treat your routine from an identity standpoint, it becomes easy for you to shift. All right? So your routine is no longer going to be based on the outcome, the things you want to achieve. Your routines will now begin to be based on who you need to become. Because a lot of times we set our goals, we might want to manage our time, want to do all of that based on outcomes, based on what we are looking at for. All right? We want to manage ourselves at that level. But the truth is, if you truly want to zone in and do the work, you must begin to work on your routine from an identity standpoint, from a becoming standpoint, from a shifting standpoint. Sometimes it is all about the environment. You also have to be able to work on the environment. If you remember vividly, we spoke about ecosystem, all right? Building an ecosystem that truly connects or aligns to your identity, to your personality, all right? The next one is where we spoke about unclear priorities. The reason why your priorities are not aligned is because you don't know your vision and it is not well anchored on your purpose. Okay? Sometimes as a result of the fact that you don't have the right people in your space, disconnected relationship. You don't have the right people in your space. You're moving with the wrong people. You want to make $1 million, you're working with people that are making $5. You want to become powerful, you want to build your capacity, you don't have a coach. What are you doing, guys? Like you don't have a coach? Why? You want to keep trying, you want to keep doing just on your own, thinking that one day you're going to arrive at the other side. It doesn't work that way. Disconnected relationships is one of the major reasons people are not stepping into their more. So it's a poor structure. All right? It's a poor structure. It's a kind of structure that's antagonizing their journey of growth, that's antagonizing their impact, that's antagonizing the person they want to become. So you see that it is a wall that you need to break down. It's a wall that you need to break down so that you are finally able to step into what truly matters. So you can't be saying to yourself all the time, I want to grow, Coach Faith. I want to build myself. I want to become this person. I want to step into the zone of my genius. But the truth is, you're currently working with friends that are mocking you, saying all sorts of things to you, right? And then you can't also step out to do the work. You keep praying your way to clarity. Okay? You keep praying your way to clarity. You keep praying your way to freedom, but you lack structure. You lack vision. You lack alignment. You lack shifting. You lack rewiring. The children of Israel prayed as though their lives be dependent on it. They prayed. Prayer is so good. I love to pray a lot and meditate. All right? I have future conversations with myself all the time, talking to God and talking to the assignment He has placed in my life. Before I showed up in this class, I prayed. I was seated here a few minutes before the time and I had to pray. I prayed for you. prayed for myself, prayed for the vision that I carry for the continent and beyond. I prayed for everyone. Yes, but what if I had finished praying and I never set up this camera to teach? Will you be able to see me? No. Will you be set on fire right now? No. I shared my story of how I wanted to come up with a short video just to advertise my program back in 2020, and I was completely thrown off balance. What if I told myself, no, I'm not ready for this. This is not meant for me. I grew up in an environment where I did not have opportunity to electricity supply for the first 16 years of my life, to TV. I didn't have opportunities to that. All right? What if I told myself that? All right? What if I told myself that? Will I be able to build capacity to where I am today? Many of you are listening to me right now. Some of you are already admiring me. I know. Yeah, it's all part of it. But was I always like this? No. I started by building a structure, by uncovering my vision, and then truly stepping out to begin to build capacity for the level that I am today. And I still keep building on a daily basis. I keep building. I'm not resting on my loins. I keep building, right? I keep connecting. I keep reading. I had a conversation with someone recently. We're talking about his book, and now he's planning to launch the book. And when we're talking, he looked at my shelf and was like, Faith, I love your bookshelf. I'm going to be sending you a book, a copy of my book. I'm ordering immediately on Amazon to send it across to you. I love what I'm saying. That is it. Beautiful. He loved what what he was seeing at that time, all right, or what he saw. That was what brought me here. The fact that I could interact with knowledge, interact with mentors, coaches, read books, that is what has brought me here. Structure. And I keep aligning. I keep shifting my identity in terms of my journey, where I'm headed. Oh God, what is next? What level of clarity have I stepped into right now? Yeah. Am I ready to step in? Really? If I'm ready to step in, then I need to shift. There has to be a rewiring. There has to be a realignment for me to shift, for me to get the result. If it costs me to pay a coach to do that, I do that. I don't hesitate. If it costs me to read a book, I read. I don't hesitate. So it is important you understand these 4 invisible words. I like to type the words in the room. Mental work, emotional work, relational work, and what? Structural work. Type them in the room. Type them in the room for that shift to happen in your life. So friends, I want you to drop your questions in the room. If you'd like to ask me powerful questions that you've never been able to ask till now, drop your questions. Let's address them. All right? One thing I want you to understand is the fact that if you really want to be able to take this to the next level, you need to step up your game. And that's why I'm not leaving you hanging. I would have just gone through this program, get you excited, get you to buy the replays, and possibly continue to listen to them. But the truth is, I want to hold you by the hand to be able to break down those words, those barriers that have held you in one spot for a long time, so that you are able to identify your gaps, build a structure, build an ecosystem, become a visionary. Because I told you that ideas excite a man, but vision is what inspires. Vision is what brings transformation. Vision is what will take you from here to there, right? I want you to be able to build mental capacity, all right, emotional capacity, structural capacity, so that at the end of the day, you are able to step up your game. You are able to begin to do the needful, to say, yes, Coach Faith, this is what I have been praying for. This is what I've been waiting for. How many of us want to be there? If you want to be there, say, Coach Faith, I am there. Say, Coach Faith, I am there. I am there already. Yes, I want to be there. I want to be deliberate. I want to start off on this journey. We are now in the month of April, recording this. The month of April is beautiful, but we still have 8 months to go. We still have 8 months to go. What if you start now? How will your life look like by the end of December 2025? How is your life going to look like by the end of December 2025? What level of transformation are you going to come into? What level of discovery are you going to come into? Right? What level of discovery are you going to come into? What level of transformation are you going to come into? Right? If you truly want to start now, the day you wake up to say, I am ready, Coach Faith, thank you, Molola. I love that energy. I love it. I love it. Amolala said, Coach Faith, I am ready. I am dear. Okay, dear already. That's the energy. Yes, that's the energy. I want you to move past this information you've interacted with. I want you to move past this inspiration. I want you to step on board. Okay? Yay! And officially, I want to announce to you that our PDMP program, Personal Development Mastery Program, is now officially open. Drum roll. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's now officially open for you to step on board. Okay? For you to step on board, for you to do the needful. Okay? For you to what? Step on board. Yeah, this is going to be our fourth cohort. There's been several testimonials. We've had students from different countries of the world. I think right now we've been able to work students from about 3 continents through this program. Okay, we've had students from the United States, we've had students from Africa, we've had from Asia that have gone through the PDMP program. This is our fourth cohort, guys. You don't want to miss out. Okay, we have it highly discounted right now for your coaching, for your education, for your transformation, for you to be able to step on board and do the needful and take your vision to the next level and say, I am tired of the mundane. I'm tired of looking back. I'm tired of the sabotages. I'm tired of all of that. I want to do the needful. Favor is going to share the link in the WhatsApp group. Once you leave here, go ahead and go through the sales page, read more about the program, send me a DM to register. And if you have any question you love to ask after going through, ask me. Send me a DM. I'm open to have those conversations with you. If you need clarity in any way, you want to speak to Coach Faith, that Coach Faith, I need more clarity on this and that, send me a DM as well. Let's talk. I'm your sister. I'm your family member, and you're my sibling as well. Let's have that conversation so that you can get on board. All right, so that you can register. We also have packages for payment plans. Maybe you want to engage our payment plans package. You want to pay twice, you want to pay 3 times. Beautiful. It's open for that. The program is going to be starting on the 3rd of May, and it's going to be for 6 weeks. Sometimes I go overboard. I will do 7 weeks. Yes, I do extra 2 weeks, 8 weeks to take my student to the next level. But this time around, you're not just going to be going through the Personal Development Mastery Program for 6 weeks. That's not going to be all. I've also upgraded the program. You're going to have access to a bonus course on growth for execution framework. It's a course. You have the workbook, you have the worksheet, the several worksheets you're going to be going through, and I'm going to be holding you by the hand. And on a weekly basis, we get to host coaching calls. Most of the classes are recorded, but on a weekly basis, we get to host coaching calls. All right. We get to host those coaching calls every week. All right. So you're also going to be having access to a vision pathway workbook. All right. We spoke about how you can express your vision today. And a lot of you are quite saying, how do I really start? Okay, I've gotten several questions like that. How do I really step on board? I'm putting a workbook together in this season to really help you do that. And I'll walk you by the hand, you ask questions, and you step out. Whichever arena you want to step into. We spoke about 5 different umbrellas today, right? Creative construction. Maybe you want to become a creative. You want to build a business. You want to be able to understand your vision around that business. We spoke about vocal transformer, which were some of the other ones we spoke about. Becoming a vocal transformer, you want to be able to speak. You want to be able to bring transformation to the earth realm. You want to be able to start off a podcast, do a lot, make impact, mentor people. Do as much as possible as it is connected to your vision. We also spoke about the area of consulting and some of that great aspects. Whatever it is that God is laying in your heart in this season that you need to step into, you need a vision midwife, right? Coach Faith is that vision midwife that can help you move past the place of inertia, step you on board, and truly set you on fire to be able to do the needful. I've said more than enough. Thank you so much for going through this program with me. I'm truly on board. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm elated that you've gone through this program. We've done this together. And on to the next level is how well you are going to be able to take your education to that height where you become that light, that city that is set upon a hill that shouldn't be hidden. Okay, that city that is set upon a hill that shouldn't be hidden. If you also register Miranda Cecilia, Mifanda Cecilia, you get access to Coach Faith Library. All right, in my library we have over 200 resources. All of these books I have mentioned, they are all there. You get to have access to them. You have access to over 60 teachings that I have done over the years. 60 live video sessions I've done over the years. You get to have access to them. That they are in the library. So that's going to be the extra bonus that you're going to be having access to. They are all there. Thank you so much for showing up. Yes, with Jaco Favor, I am that vision midwife that you need for the season, right? You need a midwife to be able to bet that vision, right? Mary appeared before Elizabeth, and the first thing that happened to Mary was that the baby leaped in her womb, and she was like, oh my God, this is that person I've been waiting for. If I am that coach, that mentor, that leader you've been waiting for all your life, and you believe that this is it, let's get started. Let's get started already. I'll be waiting for your feedback, your DMs and your messages. Let's do this. Thank you so much for your time tonight. It's been worth it. Yes, it's been worth it. I believe that I've given my best as God would have me do, and I'm super excited that you have also gone through this. Thank you, Michael, for joining. Thank you, Aroma Patrick. Thank you, Aaron Siem. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, everyone that's been here. And for those of you that are silent, looking from the back end, I truly celebrate you. Thank you. Do have a lovely Easter celebration. Okay, for those of you that love to celebrate Easter like me, the death of Jesus, go ahead and celebrate. Bye for now. Bye. All right, so head on to the WhatsApp group now and go check it out. Favor, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share so they can check it out and start signing up immediately. There's also a discount currently, a discount over 30% discount for those of you that will be registering in this season. There is already a discount laid out for you. So go ahead and grab your slots. I can't wait to work with you. All right, bye for now.